For this particular meditation, I wanted to speak on the blessings of being unique. Um, it doesn't, it just seems like there are just sometimes that, you won't fit, you can't, you can't get in with this crowd, you can't get in with that crew, you don't fit in a particular niche. And after a while, if you're not fit in so many places, you'll start feeling like there's something wrong with you. But many times, you may have never, the call that is placed over your life may have never been for you to fit. One of the things that we definitely need to be aware of, that there's a blessing in being unique. Why be a cheap copy of a magnificent original? That's what T.D. Jakes would always say. Why be a cheap copy of a magnificent original? Why be a clone? As if there's not enough out there. Why would you settle for an invasion of the body snatchers? And why long after another man's gift if you have not proved it? When David sought to fight Goliath, and Saul gave David his armor, but David knew that he hadn't proven, he hadn't tested Saul's armor. So he didn't attempt to go into battle with the giant of his particular day using another man's armor, another man's gift, another man's ability. God made you distinctly unique to be who you were. There is a blessing in being unique. A couple years back, there was a great author, he's still alive to my knowledge, John Masson, and he wrote a book, You Were Born an Original, Don't Die a Copy. Look, folks, most of us were born by ourselves. If you're not a twin or a triplet or with a multiple birth, you were born by yourself. And believe it or not, I've seen very few caskets with bunk beds. So don't be afraid to be someone that doesn't exactly fit in a particular niche. God may have never called you to fit. You may have been called out. God may have picked you to be picked on. He may have called you out, and his calling you out may bring the attack of your life. You got to be bold enough to be distinctly different and to be legitimately, authentically you. Everybody else is always already taken. So there is a blessing in being unique. God may have called you to stand out, and with the call that God gave you to stand out, you may never fit. Maybe that's what the Apostle Paul was writing about in the book of Romans 12:1 and 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Now here we go. This is where the rubber meets the road. And be ye not conformed. That word conformed in the original language is, it means don't be so well adjusted to the world's schematic, to its modes, to its mechanisms, to its folkways, moreways, norms. Be not conformed, don't fit in, but be ye transformed. That word transformed in the original Greek is the word metamorpho, which it means where we get the word metamorphosis. It means a total transformation. But be ye transformed. Don't be conformed to this world's system, this world's modes, this world's norms, this world's customs. But be ye transformed. That means totally revitalized by the renewing of your mind. The Lord gave me a revelation this morning. And I never thought about that. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That a renewed mind brings transformation. So the revelation he gave me, if your mind is truly renewed, you won't fit in with the world anymore. If you still fit, your mind's not renewed. Because if your mind's truly renewed, it's transformation. You're not being conformed to this world, but you've been transformed by the renewing of your mind. When your mind is truly renewed, you can't fit in with the crew anymore. You can't fit in with the crowd anymore. You'll start marching to the beat of a different drum. And even in the things of God, you got to have the you got to have the boldness to be authentically you. Just like David didn't use Saul's armor. You can't do what the next man is doing. I'm bold enough to teach you and teach in the way that God has led me to do and to use my gift as being in the Word and to use what I got in a day where everybody's got to holler and everybody's got to scream. Everybody's hooping and everybody ain't helping. Everybody's tuning and so few teaching. Look, folks, you got to be authentically, distinctly who you are. Now, I love to hear the shake and bake and the cake and ice cream from great preachers just like everybody else, but that's not my particular gifting. God didn't give me that gift. He may never use me well like that. You may never see me hold my finger and stick my finger behind my ear and let out a yell. I'm not knocking people that do that if that's distinctly you. But you got to be authentically, distinctly you. God didn't need to make clones. He created different people with different abilities. Even when he passed the parable of the talents, when he was passing out giftings and passing out the talents, he said, according to their several ability. God may have gifted you in a entirely different area. And so don't cry when the crew won't give you that call back, or you can't fit in with the clique, you can't fit in with the club. The preachers get together and they do their things and they never call you. Many in the Holy Writ, many that made a difference. If you go in the Holy Writ, in Hebrews 11, often called the Hall of Faith, there's few there. There's Abraham. There's Moses. Very few of them heard what everybody else heard. Very few of them did what everybody else was doing. They were bold enough. Faith calls you out. Faith sends you out. They were bold enough to be distinct. Moses, when he was in Pharaoh's home, they said when Moses came of age, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. He didn't go with the crowd, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season. You got to be authentically, distinctly you. Everybody else is taken. There's a blessing in being unique. God created you to be different. Your call, may have a different call. While we all have mutual purposes that are intertwined, God wants you to walk it out He made you exactly the way that you are. It's amazing now when you listen and everybody's got the same, the church moves in waves. And if somebody's getting hot doing one thing, then every two preachers is trying to do what the hot guy is doing. But God may have called you to be distinctly different. God has called you with a unique calling and a unique gifting to reach some unique people. You may never reach the folks that Jakes reaches. But look, Jakes may not be able to reach the folks that God has commanded you to reach. Be bold enough to be you. You were born an original. Why in the world would you be satisfied with dying a copy? There's a blessing in being unique and real transformation. If your mind's truly renewed, you won't fit where you used to fit. If you don't conform to this world and true transformation has hit you, then you're going to walk some places alone. Your walk of faith sometimes will be alone. You won't be with the crowd. You won't have the wind at your back. Look, don't get jealous over people that are taking the world by storm. They're not going to be the ones that open up the gates of heaven and say, well done for you anyway. Many times you'll have to go against the grain and be bold enough to walk by faith and be that person that is distinctly different, because there's a blessing in being unique. God bless you.